In a League of Their Own podcast is brought to you by Smooth My Balls. Are you sick of snagging your nuts or cutting yourself with a generic Bic razor or generic clipper? Well, now you don't have to worry. Smooth My Balls offers a 5-star below-the-belt care for men, starting with the Turf Chopper 3.0, the next level razor that provides a very smooth and clean finish with no cuts on your sack. And coming in for the closer, you got the Pube Muncher 1.0, a compact mini vac that cleans up a job with no hair left behind. Head over to smoothmyballs.com today and use code LEAGUE at checkout for 15% off your top of the line men's grooming kit. Again, that's LEAGUE, LEAGUE, for 15% off. Smooth My Balls, shave like a pro.
Rep Sports. Rep Sports is a leading supplement and nutrition company that provides everything from pre-workout and protein to recovery supplements. If you're looking for a healthy pick-me-up, Rep also offers Raise Energy, a zero sugar drink that helps with workout and recovery, mental focus as well. Head over to repsports.com today and use code LEAGUE for 15% off your order. That's LEAGUE for 15% off.
Golf kicks. Tired of wearing the same old boring golf shoes? Not the most comfortable? Now you don't have to worry. Customize all types of shoes, from Crocs to flip-flops, sneakers to boat shoes, and wear them in style while you rip it up on the course. Head over to golfkicks.com and use code OWN20 at checkout to get a 20% discount on your order. That's OWN20. Screw your shoes.
Streamer Loot. Want to rep the best up-and-coming sports podcast? Of course you do. Head over to streamerloot.co today and check out our first line of merch. We have t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, and stickers. Again, that is streamerloot.co to check out our merch.
Hey, everybody. It's Monday, June 28th, 2021. Tampa Bay and Montreal kick off game 1 tonight in the Stanley Cup Finals. And the Bucks take a 2-1 series lead as Trae Young is questionable to play in game 4.
There goes that man's jockstrap. Oh my God, did you see that? America's team? Yeah, right.
Oh, baby, it's a big day in sports. There's nothing like battling it out with your teammates all season long to go win a championship.
Green Bay's got it this year.
Huge move for them. I think it's going to be a game changer.
We have a lot to talk about this busy week in the sports world. Welcome to the In a League of Their Own podcast.
All right, again, everybody, welcome to the show. As we talked about on Friday, there was a lot of fun sports to watch this weekend. Again, hockey is all finalized. There wasn't really any hockey this weekend, mostly just basketball to watch. But starting things off again in the NFL, I only have one thing to mention. It might be the same thing you have to mention too, is that Demaryius Thomas is retiring as a Bronco. It looks like he announced that today. 4-time Pro Bowl receiver. I can't remember where did he end up for the last stint of his career. It wasn't.
I know he was with the Saints. He was with the Saints for a bit, and then he got hurt. I don't. That's a really good question.
Because he was on.
He bounced all over there at the end.
Yeah, wasn't
he with Baltimore too for a bit?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it, or I'm looking right now to see where. For some reason, I feel like he was in Houston at one point too, wasn't he?
He could have been. He really could have been.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anywhere where it gives like a list of, this is how many seasons he spent with this player, that team, this team. Yeah, I mean, he's mostly known for his time in Denver anyway. I believe he got a ring when I think he was there when they won Super Bowl 50. Yeah, again, not a whole lot going on for the NFL. Basically, the big thing to mention today is just him retiring, 33 years old, so still young enough to obviously enjoy the rest of his career or rest of his life without being too banged up, but at the same time 33, he's been around for a while, so
yeah, he has. And then one thing that I have on the NFL also is this whole tight end university thing that's going on. I think that's really awesome for the position and kind of all the players coming together and really showing how valuable to the league that this position really is, as they pretty much are offensive linemen who go out there and catch balls and catch touchdowns. They've got to be able to run, and move like that too. So I think it's really awesome what Kittle and those guys are doing. And I feel like they're really paving the way for this position to either potentially get a huge increase in pay because people start to value this position a lot more, or you're going to start to see a lot of these younger guys all become a part of this like university and the tight end position. There's going to be great tight ends, across the board, where right now there's really a handful that like stand out where it could get to the point where they're all super, super good.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's cool that they again are doing this kind of recruitment, well, not recruitment camp, this camp to get all those guys together. To again shine some light on the tight end position. It's kind of been one of those ones that's highly utilized, again, being basically an offensive lineman. And then for a lot of teams, they don't have a fullback on the roster anymore. They'll just have a tight end play the fullback position. So not only are you blocking D ends, you're being a fullback to where you might have to run 20, 30, 40 yards all the way to the end zone with this guy as a lead blocker too. So again, the tight end position is one of those ones that, again, it seems like every year they add more and more to their plate. And again, Kyle Pitts coming out of the draft is another one of those guys that's taking that step up yet again, saying kind of meshing that point between being a receiver and a tight end, to where for years it's really been cut and dry. No, this is a receiver. No, this is a tight end, to where you're going to start to see a lot more guys kind of opting for that tight end position because it might get them more money in the future, to where they can use that as leverage to say, hey, I wear multiple hats. A receiver is just out there running routes. I'm running routes. I'm blocking on the end. I'm a fullback sometimes. I'm on special teams. Like, they wear all these different hats, to where I wouldn't be surprised if a handful of years from now, tight ends start to get paid higher than receivers do, so long as the NFL keeps trending the way it does.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially, with this whole hit from COVID that happened, with the salary cap going up, no one really knows how much that's going to go up. I guess we'll really get to see when the time comes how valuable they really do value this position of being a tight end.
For sure. I'm just taking a quick look here, make sure there's nothing else to throw out there today. Yeah, Al, if you had anything else to throw out there about the NFL, again, we're kind of at that lull of the season where there's not a lot going on.
Yeah, no, I really don't have anything more on the NFL, but I do have a segment here, bringing back the Ynot segment here for you, which is related to football this week. So we're going to do that right here away. This one is NFL Super Bowl winners Ynot.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
I have 6 guys here for you. So first one, Chris Carter.
Chris Carter, no.
Correct. Randy Moss.
Yeah, with the Patriots.
Nope.
No?
He did not.
When was he on, or what years was he on the Patriots?
He was on the Patriots when, let's take a look here.
So my initial reaction was, yeah, he was on that Patriots team when they won one, but there was a couple of year period in there where
he played into they lost to the Eagles. No. Who else did they lose to? No.
the Giants.
Because he played in 2 Super Bowls, one for the Patriots and one for the 49ers. He played for the 49ers with Kaepernick when the Bears won. Or no, when the Colts won. No, the Bears won, right?
Well, if he was playing for the 49ers, it would have been
He was on the team with Kaepernick.
Baltimore.
So that's the one that he lost, and then one with the Patriots that they lost. It could have been Eli.
Yeah, it could have been Eli, or it had to have been Eli. Because he was the only one that aside from early in Brady's career, Eli was the only one because Brady's been to 10 Super Bowls, right? And he's won 7.
I think 9 and 7. So I think he's 7 for 9.
So yeah, then Eli is the only one who's beat him twice in the Super Bowl.
No, then it has to be 10 because they lost to the Eagles.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So yeah, so 7 for 10 then.
Yeah. Yeah, so it had to have been either, what would that have been, 2008 or 2009 when
Well, I think it was 11 because I was at the game at Lambeau when the Giants beat the Packers. And Favre threw a pick 6 on like one of the last plays.
That was 2008. 2008 was the last season Favre played for the Packers.
So that's when that was then.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Yeah, a little off topic. But yeah, I was just trying to figure out the math of like the years of when Randy Moss was there.
Yeah,
But
surprising that he didn't win one, as he's one of the greatest wide receivers to ever play the game.
yeah.
And it's kind of a cool quote for him. He goes, as much as I would have loved to have a Super Bowl ring, he goes, I was never chasing one. He was just catching balls. So
Yeah.
Sean Alexander.
I'm trying to remember if fuck. I want to say no.
He did win one.
He did win one. Okay.
Yep.
That would have been like 2002, 2003. I'm trying.
XL. 2006. They beat. What? Hold on.
Some reason I thought that they had lost every the 1 or 2 Super Bowls leading up to when they won it in, was that 14?
Oh, just kidding, dude. You're right. You're right. You're right for Sean Alexander. Fucking top link that I clicked on was false. So whoever paid to put that on top is fucking an asshole. No, they lost. He made it to the Super Bowl, but they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say because I was just like trying to tap back into those memories. Like I don't ever remember like Hasselbeck winning a Super Bowl. Is he another one? Has Hasselbeck ever won a Super Bowl? If he did, it would have been early in his career, but
I don't know.
I'm assuming not. I mean, obviously Sean Alexander was there for a shorter stint than Hasselbeck was, but
Hold on a second. Okay. Yeah, dude. The internet is getting ridiculous these days, searching for things. But yep, you got that one right.
okay.
OJ Simpson.
OJ Simpson, I feel like he was. Yes.
He did not, unfortunately. Champ Bailey.
I'm trying to remember if he was there when Broncos won at 97 or 98. I'm going to say yeah. No?
Unfortunately, no. They say he's one of the greatest cornerbacks to never win
What?
the Super Bowl.
He must have. Yeah, never mind. He went to bed in the league when they won it. Because it was Packers Broncos back-to-back years, wasn't it? Or a year in between, I want to say. I can hear you.
Oh, it cut out for a second.
Oh.
Your mouth was moving and I couldn't hear you for a second.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it just popped up and it's saying my internet connection is unstable.
Oh.
Whatever that means. So, but yeah, no. Carolina, when they beat the Broncos in the Super Bowl, they released him the summer before Peyton came and they won. So if they would have won a Super Bowl, but yeah, they let him go.
Okay.
And then the last one on the list is Jerry Rice.
I feel like I want to say yes, but I feel like it's a trick. Yeah, he had. Yeah. He has multiple. Would he have multiple?
I believe he's got a couple here. Let me
Yeah,
check.
I feel like he's got like 2 or 3.
I think maybe 4.
Because he was there when the Niners basically went on their run there for like 4 or 5 years or whatever.
Yeah, he played in 4 Super Bowl and he has 3 rings.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think who else I was thinking of. Maybe it's not Jerry Rice. I was thinking of another like Hall of Fame. Oh, it's probably Chris Carter. Yeah, it was Chris Carter, the first one you said. He was the one that it was like you want to say yes, like you think he's won a Super Bowl, but
Vikings.
he hasn't.
He was on the Vikings.
Yeah.
They didn't never won a Super Bowl. And then I was gonna put Deion Sanders in there, but I feel like I was gonna throw some like old Cowboys like Emmitt Smith, but then they were all on that Super Bowl team, which is like the iconic Super Bowl team. So
yeah, early 90s, yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got for the Ynot segment for today.
Yeah, those are hard because it's just like it's iconic names that you're like, oh, you just want to say yes to all of them.
There's so many good. That just goes to show how many great players are in the NFL and how little actually win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. And there's Tom Brady, who's
7 of them.
Yeah. He's won.
Said he'd trade 2 of them for a perfect season.
Well, when you got that many, why not?
But yeah, so then next week it's your turn for the Ynot.
Yeah, I'll come up with something for you for next week. I'll see what I can find. Well, we did the football the last 2 weeks. Maybe I was originally
gonna do golf and I was gonna do Masters Champion or no. But I feel like that'd be too hard.
Yeah, there's only like 3 or 4 that'd be like, yeah, they've won a Masters. Yeah. Wrapping up football then there. We'll jump over to the NBA here again. On Friday, it was a little scary because last Thursday, the Hawks took game 1. So over the weekend, it was basically going to be a make or break thing for the Bucks, and they showed up. They won by like close to 30, like 30, 35 points on Friday to basically blow out the Hawks. They shut down Trae Young finally. And then last night was a really good game. Pretty much until the last like 5 minutes when the Bucks went on a run.
Yeah, they closed the game 27-4.
Mm-hmm. And Middleton outscored the entire Hawks team 20-17 for the entire fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. Hit 3 back-to-back 3-pointers with a couple minutes left to give him that edge. And another edge that looks like it's going the Bucks' way is Trae Young. With like 24 seconds left in the third quarter, I think came down on a 3-pointer, took a couple steps back, and stepped on a ref's foot and twisted his ankle. And now it looks like he is questionable for Game 4 tomorrow night. So obviously, if he goes down, Bucks in 5. He's like Durant. He
makes their team go.
Yeah. So when Durant was scoring 49 points, the Bucks struggled.
Yeah.
And Trae Young, same thing. Trae Young dropped 48, and the Hawks took game 1. Now they figured out Trae Young game 2 and 3. Don't get me wrong, he had his points. He had his 35-foot 3-pointers he was dropping, his floaters he's an unreal basketball player. But games 2 and 3, the Bucks found a way to suppress him enough. Another one last night that we talked about after the game was Bogdanovich, how he stepped up, because in games 1 and 2, was that a knee injury
Andy
he's been
sat out
fighting?
the last 2 games of the last series.
Mhm.
Yeah, he has like some strain. I think it's an ACL strain, something in his knee where it comes and goes with how like bad it hurts. So potentially one wrong move on it could put him back on the bench resting, for a couple games. But at this point in the season, you're this late into it. He's
Yeah.
playing no matter what.
Oh yeah, if you
Pretty
tweak
much you
something
have
and
to at
you're
this
out,
point.
you got 6
like-
months to get
That's like
healthy.
Kawhi. It's really interesting to see what's going to happen now as the Clippers got the 2-1 series lead on the Suns. It's really interesting to see.
The Suns have a 3-1 lead over the Clippers.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
The Bucks have a 2-1 lead.
Oh, I confused that. That's my bad.
Yeah, no.
My bad, everyone.
Suns can close out the series tonight with a win in which is back in Phoenix too.
Yeah,
So.
okay. Yeah, so that's over. But so they're going to be facing the Bucks in the finals. Like you mentioned with Trae Young, he makes the team go, like Durant makes the Nets go, like Booker makes the Suns go, like Middleton really makes the Bucks go. Giannis, he does this thing every game. It's Middleton where if he's on, everybody else, it seems like, is on and playing really well. So those are the guys to really watch as we get here into the finals. And yeah, if I had to put money on it, Trae's gonna play. But earlier reports are saying he might sit out game 4 so that he could potentially get back to almost 100% for 5, 6, 7. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
If he does play tomorrow night, I could see it being like a James Harden, to where he's on the floor but not doing
shooting threes.
Yeah, not doing what he should be doing, being a little step behind.
Decoy.
Yeah. And an interesting take that I saw Kendrick Perkins say about Giannis and Middleton. He said that right now Middleton is Batman and Giannis is Robin. Do you agree? Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, that's like what I just said with how Middleton really makes the Bucks go. Giannis is reliable and he's the sidekick, but yeah, Middleton's Batman. He's the guy where if he's on, we win. If he's not, Robin's got to do something spectacular, which is above what he normally does. And that's kind of where the Bucks have been ever since, for like 3 years now. It's kind of been that way. Giannis has kind of done his thing every single year. He's a great talent. He's one of the superstars in the NBA, and he shows that all the time. But Middleton is the guy. He's the guy.
At first I was like, no, like Middleton's definitely the Robin to Giannis's Batman.
A lot of people like to think it is that way, but taking a step back and really looking at it, Middleton really makes everything go.
Well, because he's
he does everything. He does everything.
He's a more well-rounded player, mostly because he's a better three-point shooter and a better free thrower.
And he rebounds. He's really good. He gets steals. He's a very, very good player. And you could tell when the game gets tight at the end, he wants the ball in his hand, where Giannis is dishing it.
Yeah. The only 2 categories I give up on Giannis is obviously him in the paint and blocks. But those are the 2 where Giannis obviously, because of his size. But yeah, I mean, no matter what way you look at it, whether you want to call one Batman, the other Robin, or vice versa, they're winning basketball games, and who cares? So, but yeah, it was just an interesting take. And I mean, even like I kind of like with they keep calling him Money Middleton, and every time he scores a basket, they got the money, 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 money over the speakers in Fiserv. So I don't know if that's just been during the playoffs. I haven't noticed that during the regular season. I think that's a little thing that they started doing. But I mean, Middleton's one of those guys. He just seems like he kind of reminds me of with the media, like Marshawn Lynch. He's just like, I'm just here to play ball. Like he doesn't like. He doesn't get a
you've
big
never heard
head.
him, and you've never heard him bitching about money or nothing.
No. He just loves the game. He shows up every night. He never really has a bad night. He just has his average is like
His bad
20 to
nights, like
25.
his bad nights, like 15, 18 points.
Yeah.
And that's still a good night.
And usually if he's doing that, Giannis is close to 50. So you don't really, it's not like they're losing the game when it's like, oh, what happened in Middleton? It's, oh, Giannis scored 50 and that like, so again, when you're one of the last four teams left in any sport, you got to be playing all around as a team. And again, going back to the Nets, how kind of karma came back to bite him in the ass with questionably taking too much time off, not playing all around team ball. When you have three superstars who want the ball in their hands to be taking that game winning shot, and all three of them don't really play good defense. I mean, it was bound to happen eventually where they ran into a well-rounded defensive team that shut them down, or at least shut Kevin Durant down. But
yeah, and as Stephen A. Smith said for the longest time about the Bucks is they win games where they make the other team miss. When we're playing defense and getting our hands up and not letting teams shoot for free will, we win. Bucks win almost every single game where we're actually playing good defense. So as long as we don't get lackadaisical being up 2-1, we could really step on their throat here and bang, bang, get her done here in 5.
Yeah. I mean, so long as they can win game 4 again, especially if either Trae Young is not back to 100%. If he's not on the floor at all, they got to basically do what they did in game 2 and win by 30. Otherwise, they're leaving the door open for the Hawks to, oh, we only lost by 7 without Trae. Like we can do this. We can do this. You don't want to give them that hope whatsoever, because even though Milwaukee does have home court advantage, if somehow the series lasts till game 6, if the Hawks stay alive to game 6 where it goes back to Atlanta, that could be a huge turning point going, because the Hawks already stole one game in Milwaukee, so they can do it again. It's more than possible. So the Bucks basically got to win the series in 5, because if it goes to 6 back in Atlanta and Young is back on the floor and they get some momentum, I mean, you hope it doesn't go to a game 7, although the Bucks obviously took care of the Nets in 7, but at the same time, the Suns are going to take care of the series tonight. Team. So the longer you give Suns rest, and you drain yourselves out going 5, 6, 7 game series, it's going to tire you out. And come NBA Finals, which they'd be on the road there too, I'm pretty sure the Suns would have home court advantage in the finals as well. So
yeah, and as far as the Bucks, even with this news about Trae Young being hurt or whatever, that could all be bullshit too, just to try to get the Bucks to take it light on him or something like that, and he just pops off this next. So who knows really what is actually going on? But as far as the Bucks case, do exactly what you did last game and play tough defense. And because the Atlanta team, you never know you never know how they're going to shoot. If they come out shooting lights out, they could run away with the game just as well as we did in game 2. They're a very good 3-point shooting team. They have like 3 guys that are very, very, very good at it, and they can do it from really deep too. So that's the one advantage that they do have, and that is why they've gotten this far, is their shooting has gotten them this far. And when you play one of the best defensive teams in the NBA in the Milwaukee Bucks, who they really take pride in their defense, versus one of the top, we shut down the top scoring offense during the regular season. They weren't really that in the playoffs. If anything, Atlanta, I feel like, was one of the better scoring teams in the playoffs. We got, they're here for a reason, and with or without Trae Young, they're still going to come out and battle just as hard. So don't take them lightly. Otherwise, I would hate to see them have the series slip away by pissing away a game or 2. And because that's all it takes at this point, is one team to get momentum and to carry that all the way through the end. And it kind of seems like the Bucks stole all the momentum after game 2. With the comeback, especially being able to come back after we were down like 15 or 18 points, whatever it was.
Yeah,
early.
I think it was 20-2.
Yeah, I think it was
point.
18. I think it was 18 points. Yeah.
Yeah.
But being able to will and come back and then win by, what did we ended up winning by?
Last night. Let me check. It was by enough. 113-102, so 11.
So yeah, to be down by 18 early in the game and then to win by 11 at the end there. We have the momentum and just don't let it don't let it slip out of our hands right now in this series, because Phoenix is going to be well rested and they're going to be ready to go. So
And switching over to wrap up the other series then, again, kind of like how you're saying with Trae Young being out, who knows how they're addressing that and playing it. It could be just a diversion to kind of get the Bucks to get off their game plan. Kawhi, obviously being a 2-time NBA Finals MVP, him sitting there watching what's going on. Does he throw on the shoes tonight? There hasn't been any talks of it, but I don't know how you sit in the stands and just watch it happen. Because I mean, it's Tyronn Lue either yesterday or 2 days ago said, yeah, we're down 3-1, but they won 4 games in a row against the Jazz because they were down, I believe, 2-1 in that series as well. And they went on to win 4 in a row to take out the number 1 team in the West. Well, the number 1 team in the entire NBA for the year. Obviously, I think the Suns are better than the Jazz, so that it's a taller task. But I mean, I guess it depends on how bad as an organization you want, or even as a player, because obviously it's ultimately the player's decision.
Is the risk worth the reward, though? Like, I feel like in his case, depending what it is, because they still have not said or disclosed anything, who knows? He could already had his surgery already and he could be rehabbing. No one really knows what's going on with him, and he doesn't really talk to the media or anything. So I feel like no one's really going to know what happened or what happened until the Clippers are out. Obviously, I don't think they're going to say anything, but like at the same time, yeah, like you said, you'd think that being an athlete and somebody who wants to win, if you can be out there and play, you would like to. But if you're going to hurt yourself worse, where you're going to potentially end up missing more time, or potentially have something change your game to where somebody becomes better than you and then takes your spot, you wouldn't want to risk that. So
yeah,
I can understand if it's something serious where, hey, I'm not pushing this because I could this could be a career ender, or if it's a little bump and bruise and he's I don't think that's Kawhi. I think he plays.
No.
He seems like he's a pretty tough dude, honestly.
Yeah.
And if he could play, I there's no doubt that he'd be out there on the floor.
Yeah.
Especially in the playoffs, dude.
It has to be something serious, because thinking about it again, going back to James Harden playing with a strained hamstring, wasn't very productive, but he was still out there. Bogdanovich, his knee injury, whatever's going on with that, he was out there fighting through it, and he looked really good last night. Trae Young, ankle injury, who knows what's going to happen with him? But if he has
bone bruise,
this much of a chance to be out there, he's going to be out there, even if he's playing limited minutes or not getting as many looks. So again, I think you put Kawhi Leonard above all 3 of those names I just mentioned, as far as the caliber of player that he is, over Harden, Young, and Bogdanovich.
He's one of the best defensive players in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And when he wants to turn on the switch, he can on the offensive side.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll definitely come out of left field, as again, there has been 0 talks about what the injury is and what the timetable is for him to come back. But again, it's an elimination game tonight. So if he's not back tonight, it's probably the end of the Clippers season. Unless Paul George can show up and make some free throws late in the game for once. But yeah, that's kind of it for the NBA. Again, winding down the season here. NBA finals are going to be going on next week. Maybe even starting Saturday, Sunday, depending on how these series finish up. So So yeah, jumping over here to the MLB then. The Brewers gave Milwaukee a undefeated weekend, as they say. Bucks went 2-0, and the Brewers got the weekend sweep. So if you're a Milwaukee fan, you didn't see an L all weekend. So they hold a 3-game lead over the Cubs right now, and those two teams collide for a series starting tonight. The Cubs can make up some ground again with the MLB. It's half a game for every game. So technically, the Brewers have really a 6-game lead over the Cubs. So either the Cubs can make some ground and move it to a 1.5 game deficit, or the Brewers can stretch out to a 4.5 game lead. So, but again, that's if one team sweeps. They could obviously split or whatever it might be. But yeah, this is a big series for both teams, really, where the Brewers can kind of run away with it going into the All-Star break just around the corner, to where they usually fall apart after the year. They've been playing good baseball, getting sweeps, winning series 2-1, 3-1. Yeah, really liking how the Brewers look right now. With the MLB and how they've been cracking down on foreign substances for pitchers. The first one gets the can. Seattle Mariners pitcher Hector Santiago got ejected yesterday using foreign substances. He was adamant that he was using rosin and that it wasn't anything illegal. So they're going to be looking into it, but he did get the boot yesterday. And obviously they'll probably be looking into it as, what was it, a 10-game suspension, I think.
Yeah, it was like 10 or 12 with pay.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see, I guess, how much this keeps snowballing until something happens. But yeah, Bryce Harper to sit out again. He took a pitch to the calf yesterday, so he is out today against the Mets. Josh Naylor of the Cleveland Indians is going to need surgery after breaking his ankle, colliding with a teammate. And Pirates pitcher Max Kronick made his MLB debut yesterday, pitching 5 perfect innings before an hour rain delay forced him out of the game. I don't know how that works exactly with how if there's a delay, you have to go to the bullpen, or if he just got cold and couldn't get warmed back up to go back out there. But nonetheless, in his MLB debut, he was halfway to a no-hitter, or I shouldn't say no-hitter, a perfect game, let alone, because they hadn't let anybody on base through 5 innings, I believe. So, but still, the guy's, I think, 23 years old. So obviously, if that's your MLB debut, you got a long, prosperous career. And being on a team like the Pirates, they need a guy like that right now. Yeah, that's all I got for the MLB.
All right, so then jumping over to hockey here, some news here. The Seattle Kraken, which is the new team coming this next season, they are going to be sharing their AHL team with the Florida Panthers for this next season, which means both teams will be able to have their players on the AHL team, and both teams will have rights to be able to call up those players at any time. So they're basically sharing the same farm team, basically, which is pretty cool to see. I believe that is Vegas, I think, shared theirs with the Phoenix Coyotes or the Arizona Coyotes their first season. So that's just what usually happens the first season until they get their feet underneath them, and then can pick out a city where they're going to put their farm team and all that. So shout out to them for doing that. That's pretty cool. Montreal Canadiens forward Joel Armia, who's on the 4th line. News came out that on Friday, I believe that was, that he was having to go under COVID protocols and he wasn't going to be able to be available until at least game 3. Turns out he has passed 2 positive COVID tests, or like doesn't have COVID. He's passed 2 tests, and he will be taking his own private jet from Montreal down to Tampa. He will be joining the team this afternoon. I think he flown in at 1:00. He was going to be trying to make the morning skate for today. Their interim coach, Richardson, because of their head coach, who's also out until game 3. He's got to serve the whole 14-day quarantine. He said he's not sure who is going to be in the lineup as Jake Evans returns, the guy who got absolutely murdered when he put in the empty net goal against Winnipeg Jets. He makes his return into the lineup. The coach said because Armia is now available to play, he's unsure of who's going to get that slot. But if it were me, you stick an Armia in there. He's been playing there ever since Evans been out, and they've looked phenomenal. Don't change, why would you change something that's working? That just doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, that's what's happening with that. We have some sad news here as we'd like to say condolences to David Pastrnak, Boston Bruins star forward. His newborn son had passed away shortly after birth. So condolences to you guys and your family and everybody in the Bruins organization that knows you and stuff like that. So we hope everything works out there. Also, some pretty crazy news. Vegas defenseman Alec Martinez reveals he played postseason with the Vegas Golden Knights on a broken foot. It was broken in 2 different spots. He ended up leading the whole entire postseason. He still has the lead in blocked shots with 79. He averaged 23 minutes of ice time over the course of the playoffs. So impressive, and shout out to you for being able to push through that and play and lay everything on the line for the cup. I know you're a multiple-time Stanley Cup champion as you scored the game-winning goal for the Kings in their last cup. So, I mean, you've had an amazing career, so hopefully you heal up from this one and continue to play. I don't know what his contract is looking like with Vegas, but if they can keep that team together, they've been right on that hump every single year since they've been a team in the league. So you think one of these years that maybe they're going to get over that hump and win their first Stanley Cup. I think they would be the only franchise to win a Stanley Cup within like the first 10 years of existence. So that'd be pretty cool. Then some pretty cool news, actually. I think this is really awesome. So the Hockey Hall of Fame has came out, well, the NHL, I should say, came out and said that they'd really like to pay back and do something for all the hockey fans. And so what they're doing is they're opening up a Twitter contest right now. The top 52 tweets coming in, and the question is, let me find it. What it would mean for their team to win the Stanley Cup. Like what it would mean for your team to win the Stanley Cup. And the top 52 answers are going to be engraved on a silver plate and placed into the Hall of Fame for forever. So I think that's really cool. Obviously, all of the teams are going to be represented, I believe, and then obviously they're going to pick the other ones after that. But I think that's awesome that they're paying it back to the fans to where the fans can actually become a part of the Hall of Fame, where they can actually take their kids and say, hey, I'm in the Hockey Hall. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's a really big way to get a lot more people involved. And especially if they continue to do stuff like this, the NHL gives back a lot, including their build a rink, how they stick. There's 3 winners that win, and they pump a whole bunch of money into arenas all over the country and basically rebuild them. They play an NHL preseason game there and kind of, I don't know, I guess maintain keeping hockey going here in the United States, as it's kind of on an upswing within the last few years. So I just want to say that that's awesome. I think that that's so cool that the NHL is doing that. I don't know. It's one of a kind thing. I don't think any other sport's ever done something like that. So that's awesome. And then, yeah, getting to the biggest point here, Cole Caulfield and the Montreal Canadiens take on Nikita Kucherov and the Tampa Bay Lightning here tonight. 7:00, the puck drops. Game 1, Stanley Cup Finals. Personally, I think this is the greatest series that you'll ever see in any sports. Like, this is personally just the greatest. You're going to see everything left out there that humans can possibly do. It's going to be a hell of a series. And I'm going to give a pick right now. I'm going to take Montreal in 5 games. I think that they if they can continue to do what they do and shut down Tampa Bay, I think that they can keep them at bay. Who do you think is going to win, Collin? Actually, I'm going to change that. I'm going to say 6 because Tampa is really good at home. So I think that they might win tonight. But who knows? Like,
I mean, obviously being a fan of the kind of Cinderella story of the Canadiens, and again the improbable odds of them getting this far, just for the sheer fact of in a regular structured NHL playoffs, they'd be sitting at home on the couch watching it right now. They wouldn't have even made the first round. So obviously, again, being a Cole Caulfield fan, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna say Tampa in 7. Just because I feel like, yeah, Montreal is a gritty team. You're gonna see 2 completely different styles of hockey.
offense first, defense.
Tampa is going to go up and down the ice as fast as they can, and Montreal is going to try to slow them down, kind of like what the Islanders tried to do. And again, they made it to a game 7, but I think it's going to be almost picture or word for word what happened with the Islanders. The speed just got to them, and they got gas in game 7. And again, that ended up being just a 1-0 game. And I think that's how the entire Stanley Cup Finals is going to be. You're going to see 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 kind of games. I don't really see anything probably more than three goals being scored for one team in any one of these games. So it's going to be a really good series to watch. Again, I hope my heart says Montreal, but my head says Tampa in 7.
Yeah, the only difference, so that was a really good comparison that you had with Montreal kind of being like the Islanders. The only difference really there is goaltending. Carey Price is one of the best in the world. And New York's goalies, they've had their moments of weakness and struggled at some point, where Carey Price, he's been unbelievable his whole entire career. He's been one of the best goalies in the game. So that's where this series gets really interesting, because both goalies, finally, this is the first series where Tampa's playing a team with a goalie as good of a goalie that they have, because Vasilevsky is unbelievable. I think he's going to win goalie of the year again this year. He's incredible. He got their team to the postseason without their captain and without their leading point scorer basically for the whole season. And they still were, I think they were the number 1 seed without them. So, I mean, to be able to get that far, and then, I mean, yeah, you ain't going to see no 8-0 game this series.
No. I guess 2 names to throw out there to kind of keep an eye on, I guess, for anybody who's not, I guess, huge hockey fans, that are going to be kind of 2 people to keep an eye on. Braden Point and Carey Price. Basically, who's going to crack? Is Carey Price going to finally fall apart, or is Braden Point going to get shut down? Is kind of the 2 people I guess I'm going to be watching.
And yeah, that's a good thing. And another main thing here for the people who know a little bit more here, the power play, Tampa's power play versus Montreal's penalty kill. That is going to be, Tampa's power play is unbelievable. Montreal's penalty killing is unbelievable. Tampa's gotten by I think they've scored like 20 straight power play goals, something like that. Their top power play is the top 5 leading point scorers in the playoffs. So they're putting the puck in the net. Their power play is amazing to watch. It's so fun to watch their power play for how they move the puck and how skillful that team is. This is another thing, like going back to kind of like how the Islanders matched up with Tampa. Montreal has, like, yeah, the Islanders had 4 lines, but Montreal's all 4 lines are producing, where the Islanders, one of their lines went cold almost every game, where one line basically disappeared. Didn't score, didn't do nothing good, where I haven't seen that out of Montreal yet. And Tampa, obviously, I haven't seen that out of one of their lines yet as well either. And this is kind of the NHL royalty in Montreal, is basically original 6. Kind of, this is obviously Toronto's the hockey mecca, but like Montreal is considered like the hockey royalty versus the new coming Tampa Bay, Hockey Bay, which they've kind of taken over and they've made a statement. Back-to-back Stanley Cup appearances. They won last year. Are they going to win again?
Yeah, it's gonna be a really fun series to watch again. Whether you're biggest hockey fan in the world or you're just watching it because it's like this, like Super Bowl. People watch the Super Bowl even though they haven't watched football a year. The NBA Finals, even though they don't watch basketball a year. NASCAR, you don't watch NASCAR, watch the Daytona 500. It's just one of those things you got to watch no matter what.
Yeah, and then I just want to give one quick shout out. Nelly Corda, who won the LPGA Tour, set a course record. I think she finished with like 24, 25 under. Don't remember the exact score, but yeah, I just remembered seeing something about that. So that was pretty cool. I had to bring that up. But yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by today. Don't forget to like, subscribe the channel here. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, anywhere and everywhere. Go to Google, type in a League of Their Own podcast. You can also find us on Google, Apple Podcasts, Spotify as well. Anywhere that's associated with Anchor, one of our sponsors. Also, don't forget to click the 5 stars for whatever reason. That helps move us up the charts for the algorithm. We'd really appreciate that. Also, don't forget to stop by the merch store, rep some of our In a League of Their Own podcast gear, help share the name, spread the love. And yeah, thank you everybody for stopping by today. We will be back on Wednesday.
Sounds good. We'll see you all on Wednesday.